friends, and welcome back to my New England story. Well, as the title says, today I am going to be sharing with you some of my newest thrifted finds. I know many of you love thrifting and consignment shopping as much as I do, and I will say that a lot of today's items are actually from estate sales. 'Tis the season, I guess, and I've actually had some fun purchases, and I would say it's been over probably the past 3 months. I have done some consignment shopping, and at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you we'll take a walk through one of my favorites. It's Milford Antiques here in Milford, New Hampshire. Now, of course, as time goes on, I do find myself getting a little more choosy as far as what I'm purchasing. However, some items are just too good to pass up. And many of those items I list in my store to share with you. And I will be showing some of that today. You'll just have to go and take a look around the shop. Now, for all of my new subscribers, I do have an online store. It's not just consignment though. I do have a consignment department, but I also have many other things. And those are items that I have. Some things I may have a duplicate of in my own home decor. Some are made in New England, but everything in my store is something I have used and loved, and that's why it's there. I will say that a lot of the items are based on what I may not have been able to find when I lived in Michigan. So I try to choose carefully some unique items. And I will say my sister-in-law who lives in Michigan, she is my #1 customer. So if you want something, you better hurry up because she may be buying it first. But anyway, so I am going to start outside here and share a couple of items that we purchased at estate sales. But first, as promised, I am going to share the beginning of my little fairy garden. So let's head on over that direction. Now, as a backdrop to my little fairy garden here, I did just purchase this little picket fence. It looks rather primitive and old, and I found this at the Milford Antique Market, and I believe a gentleman makes these. Of course, Mark said, well, I could make that, but it was not that expensive, and I chose it, if nothing else, as a pattern for him. So that is the backdrop to my fairy garden. And then here we have my little duck pond. Let me get in closer. So here's my little duck pond. I just thought it was absolutely adorable. I did find this on Amazon. And then I just added a little rock with some acorn tops, of course. You know, I live in the middle of the woods, so all of this moss and everything is from the area. Over here, I have a little elf, and he decided to take a little nap. He's being rather lazy today. Those are just a couple of birch branches, again from our yard. The moss is from our yard. Now, some of you may remember my little fairy in the bird bath. I brought this here from Michigan. It was a Mother's Day gift many years ago, and she has a tiny little bird on her toe. I've just put some seashells in there. Last year I had it in my secret garden, but I decided what a perfect place for her to be, here in the fairy garden. And then down here, I have a tiny little door going into a fairy's home, which happens to be rather large. Look at that rock. That was here. And so I think it's large enough for many fairies to live in. And then over here is a cute little fairy house, and there's a swing right next to it. And what I love about the house is the door actually opens up. So cute. There's nothing inside, just a little bit of moss. So I thought that was really cute. And A couple of these items I purchased through Etsy. Others were Amazon. Some things I had, and some things I just added from nature. And then last but not least, here's a little house. I was actually gifted this from one of my viewers, and I thought it was just a perfect addition to my little fairy garden. So friends, that's all I have in here so far, and I'll probably just add things as I find them. Maybe things that I make. I don't know. We will see. But it's a good start. Oh look, I have a little visitor here on the leaf. That little guy just happened to appear. So anyway, someone's enjoying the little bird bath. We'll see what happens here. So let's head on over to the garage. I'm going to show you a couple of things that we purchased at an estate sale, and we'll begin our tour. So let's begin with these two very heavy duty cement urns. I have one here, and then I have one over here. They're just outside of our garage, as you can see. And Mark had gone to an estate sale while I was in Texas. I had told him about it, so he loaded up Jack and they headed north to this beautiful home. And he actually FaceTimed me because he wanted me to see the views from this home. Absolutely gorgeous. That's where he purchased these. I had been looking for some of these for several years. So obviously I was just delighted to come home and find these. And we kept them here. This is where he unloaded them. And so that's where they're going to stay right now. Just because they're perfectly fine right here outside of the garage. We moved them away from the house. They were getting a little bit of dripping from our eaves troughs, and as you know, we've had a lot of rain. So that's the first two items. I thought I would share here, Mark actually took over planting of the potatoes this year, and we just put them in a couple of baskets. He only put in one there, but they're doing pretty good. Obviously, they've had more rain than sun, but I'm anxious to see what kind of production we get out of these. We do have a couple of more baskets. I think we're going to put some more in. I wasn't sure how these were going to do. Now, this little covered bridge I found actually in a barn at an estate sale. So we have it up on a post here in our backyard. I just loved it. Now, I'm sure I could possibly put bird seed in it, but living here in bear country, that's not something we do in the summer. So anyway, I thought it was cute, a great little addition. He stands up rather tall. I want to show you, do you see the little peach there? We have a few of them. This is a tree that our neighbors gave us. I don't know if you can see some of the beginnings of peaches, but I'm rather excited that we may have some peaches this year. And the fun part about the tree is it all started with our neighbor's grandfather, and he just brought a bunch of seedlings to his house, has started them, and we were lucky enough for him to share with us. So here we go. We will see what kind of production we get this year. Okay, so let's head inside and I'll show you the rest of my goodies. Okay, come on in. Okay, friends, welcome back to my dining room. This is where I seem to share my stash. I am going to start with the most exciting purchase. These, believe it or not, are just a few of the pieces of copper. Now, I went to a moving sale, and the woman had quite the collection. It was incredible. And of course, nothing was marked. And I don't like that because I always feel bad asking. But I went up and I asked her how much I had picked out a few pieces. I went up, I asked her how much. She told me. And I'm telling you, it was quite the deal. Let me show you the stash that I got. So what happened? I picked out a few pieces. I paid her for them. Mark was with me. We hopped in the truck. We left. We got maybe half a mile down the road, and I said, "Stop, turn around. I'm going to go back." Now, granted, I cannot use all of these pieces. Like I said, these are just a few that I chose to show you. I mean, look at the patina on some of these. They're just beautiful. I found them to be rather unique pieces. So again, we turned around. I went back and I purchased even more because I told Mark I can put that in my online shop. I want to share that because so many of you love copper the way I do. And like I said, these are unique pieces. Now, I am listing just a few at a time. And there are things on my shop right now that are not even on the table here. So some of these pieces I am going to keep, and I'm going to go through all of it when I have more time to decide. Is it something I want to keep? Is it something I want to sell? So please, I don't mean to be a tease, but please just keep checking back because I will probably, as things sell, I will just put more on eventually. So anyway, that was my most exciting purchase of the past 3 months was my copper collection. This was another thing. I thought she was beautiful. Now, I love swans. From my first trip to New England, I noticed so many people used them in their decor. So, of course, I wanted to also. This baby is heavy, and she is hand carved by Janet Luce. But I do have another little one over here. I'm sure you've seen her before. I decorate her with different things. But this one is rather large. Now, I did also purchase a smaller one that is in my shop. So if you're interested, please check that out. These were fun. I love pottery. And this is Monroe Saltworks Pottery out of Maine, no longer in business. And I actually found 4 of these. I thought they were beautiful. I love the floral in it. They're pretty heavy duty. You could use them, for votives or even as a tiny little vase if you want. Use your imagination. So I purchased 4. 2 for you, 2 for me. 2 are listed in the shop. These I found. Now, I was excited about this. I don't know about you. I confess, I am a pillow addict. I love changing my throw pillows throughout my house, whether it's, I change things for the season, whether it's on chairs, my sofa, whatever. I sold one of those because I did find another one a while ago, and one of you bought that. You loved it just as much as I did. These are wonderful. They're pillow covers. So this is for a rectangular pillow. It's beautiful. It's a navy blue. And then these, again, I am selling these in my shop. I loved them. Couldn't decide if I should keep them or not, so it's a situation, if it doesn't sell, I'm going to keep it. These I found at a French home decor store in Exeter, New Hampshire, and the woman had a little clearance section. So they are just beautiful. Again, if they don't sell, I'm going to keep them. See, because I love I love everything that I list. I'm not just buying because. So go ahead and take a look if that's something you're interested in. I did find this beautiful, I call these little coffee table books. So just a gorgeous book. It's called Living in New England. And let me just peruse some of the pictures for you. Let me pull back so you can see. Just gorgeous. I did decide to list this. Again, if it doesn't sell, I'm perfectly happy to keep it. But I thought I would share it with you because I do have quite a few books with New England decor, and I just thought this was a beautiful one. So go ahead and check it out. If it's something you're interested in, that will be in my shop. These I thought were beautiful also. These I got at an estate sale, and I just thought they were unique. They have the crystal, they are for tapers. They have the crystal top and then the iron bottom. They're rather heavy. They do have felt on the bottom. Looks like I need to clean that off a little. Again, I got those at an estate sale, and those I did list in my shop. I didn't want to, I am showing you things that I'm keeping also. However, I didn't want to just be a tease and just show you what I'm keeping. So I am going to show you, I am getting better at not keeping everything. It's hard because I love everything that I buy, obviously. This was incredible. This is the Mountain Weavers. It is made in Vermont. This is actually sold at the Vermont Country Store, and it is a tablecloth. Now, it is machine washable. If you see there, they still sell it in the store. I found this in the package, never opened, never used. This is still stapled, you can see, to the fabric. So it was never used, and I got that at an estate sale. Beautiful home, beautiful old home. So that would be a great, you could even use it outdoors as a picnic blanket because the size is 62 by 90. Or it was also, if you have a primitive home, gorgeous tablecloth, gorgeous tablecloth. So obviously very well made and made in Vermont. So if you love things made in New England, there you go. This was adorable. Look at these little cherubs. I just thought they were adorable. It is Lefton China, and it is made by Lefton. It is numbered, and I thought they were adorable. Again, a little planter, a candle. If you have more of a Parisian decor, how perfect would that be? Just gorgeous. I thought it rather unique. I'd not seen something like this before, which is why I picked it up. Then this was another plate I found at an estate sale, made in England, Ridgeway, made in England. Nice size, great condition. I love the color of the green. It's a little lighter than it is showing on film, but how beautiful is that? To me, that would be perfect also if you had the vintage decor, or the granny chic they call it. How perfect would that be? And that's a nice size. That is a 12-inch diameter on that. So nice size plate. This next thing, you'll know why I got it. Believe it or not, look, it was only $1. This was an estate sale find, and look at this adorable wind chimes with the lighthouse, and then at the bottom with the sailboat. I haven't hung it out yet, but believe me, I'm going to. I just fell in love with it. And I also fell in love with this little gazebo. How cute is that? If you hear dinging in the background, my wash is done. I just thought it was so cute. I'm either going to put that on my porch, on my covered porch, or I don't know, I may even keep it in my china cabinet here. We'll decide on that later. Now, I did purchase this, and I purchased this also at Milford Antique Market. And this, look at it's a Laura Ashley. It is so soft. It looks like a wool, but it is so soft. I just loved it. I loved the print on it. I loved the blue. So I purchased this and the gazebo, and let me show you the other things that I purchased at Milford. As you can see, I was actually going almost with an Americana theme at Milford Antiques. Not on purpose, I didn't realize it. However, it was just before Memorial Day, and I guess subconsciously I had that in mind. So with that being said, I just wanted to share a few of the items here, give you a taste of what I have in my shop, what I'm keeping myself. There's much more in the store, so I invite you to please go look. Again, like I said, I have new items there also, and I have been adding to that category. So as promised, I am going to end this video showing you some footage from my trip to Milford Antiques in Milford, New Hampshire. That way you can pretend you were shopping right with me. Thank you so much for joining me today, friends. I truly appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Stay cool, and we will see you next week. Okay, let's head on over to Milford.